In our second interview, we decided to look at the topic of transsexualism. And there are all kinds of colorful transsexuals out there, and certainly if you watch TV talk shows, they seem to be everywhere.
No.
So instead, we decided to get a transsexual psychology professor, Dr. Jayne Thomas, to talk about her life and her work. It was fascinating.
I knew at a very early age that I was uncomfortable in the role as a male.
So even as a boy?
As a boy, yeah. I mean, I remember in elementary school, at that time they had recess. The girls would have recess on one side of the school and the boys on the other side of the school. And part of me wanted to be over there with the girls jumping rope and throwing jacks rather than with the boys playing baseball. But, you know, but you don't, for me, it was just a sense of being uncomfortable and not really knowing what the solution was, and there not being anything around that said what the solution was. The older I got, the more uncomfortable I became with, you know, with how I was living my life. Still, I was able to work in some very male-oriented jobs. I got married, ran off and got married at 17. And I'm sure that part of that was to escape family and, you know, and where people didn't understand me. I mean, you know, I had some typical cross-dressing episodes when I was young.
What do you mean by typical?
Well, my father caught me one time wearing one of my sister's dresses. And, you know, and I can still, she was probably, you know, 7 or 8, maybe I was 5 or, you know, something like that. I mean, there was some age difference, and I remember him, I'm still feeling, slapping me across the face and say, "I never want to catch you wearing women's clothes again." And he didn't. He never caught me wearing women's clothes again. For me, changing your gender was not the first thing you thought about in solving a problem. Maybe, maybe as a child, picking athletics and becoming proficient in athletics would make a man of me. Maybe getting a college education, having a good job would make a man of me. Maybe getting married at an early age and starting a family would make a man of me.
Going in the Army?
I never thought of that. Okay.
But those are the standard.
I mean, there are limits. Okay.
But those are the standard things that are going to make a man out of you.
No, I know. You know, but you look at all of those kinds of things, and then, you know, and then finally it gets to the point that none of these are working. You know, it's like, and I always had this image that if I don't address this problem, at some time I'm going to end up in bib overhauls, in a rocking chair, on an old folks' home as a little old man with a corncob pipe saying, "I really should have been a woman."
If you can change genders, does that make gender a choice?
I don't think so. I don't think it's a choice. I think that there's enough information coming forth that you know, that would back that up. I don't think I chose to do this. I don't know why anybody would choose to do this. It makes your life a lot more complicated. I felt, in a way, compelled. Now, I don't know, and probably never will know in my lifetime, whether that's a result of the hormonal bath that my nervous system got in, you know, in a prenatal period of time, which is certainly one of the theories that many people have, or whether it was the treatment, that the relationship that I had with my mother at a very early age. And, you know, and a kind of bonding, and maybe her letting my hair grow long. A lot of people would say, well, look, she feminized him. My own feeling is there's probably an interaction. Maybe the biology set me up so those kinds of things were salient in my life. Or maybe it was the fact that rather than being a bad mother, maybe she was an exceptional mother. Maybe she sensed something in our relationship that most people couldn't sense, and just was there for that.
Are you happier as a woman?
Oh, much. My life's more complicated, but I'm better able to deal with the complications than I was as a man. Years and years ago, you know, when this was all new, people were asking me to do television shows and Donahue and Geraldo and things like that. But, you know, that doesn't happen anymore. It's, you know, but this is more common now.
Are you mainstream now?
I don't know. You know, this is more common now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like, you know, before it was, oh my God, can you believe that? And now it's kind of like, okay, so, you know, so you've changed gender roles and I'm a Catholic. You know, it's like, so what? You know, so now what?